Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm going through my collection one box at a time. Thanks for being here. Today we're going through box number 32. We're going to start with Blackwulf, and we are going to go through some blood, and we are going to end up with some blue. So I hope that you will like and comment and subscribe. If there's anything inside any of the packs that I skipped that you'd like to see, I hope that you'll let me know, and we'll make a special video all about that. But otherwise, let's get going. All right, we've got one more series with the word black at the front. Blackwulf, a kind of a one-shot hero. Didn't last very long. In fact, he's pretty much only showed up here. Got issue 1 right there, and issue 10 right there. But you know, if anybody wants me to open that up, show it off, let me know. I'll make it happen for you. Then we get to Blade. I have a smattering of Blade. I've got this one, series issue number 1 through issue number 6 right there. I believe is the complete series for that series. And this one right here, another issue 1. I think this is the one that had the really funny cover blurbs when you get into it, but Spider-Man versus Blade action there. And got issue 4, battle you always wanted to see, Vampire Santa versus Blade. God, this is I guess the price on this one has gone down. This one's kind of, I'm surprised I don't still have this one in Mylar, but this Wolverine Blade cover. There's lots of Blades on Wolverine covers, but anyway, you know what I mean. I think this fight between those two. Issue 5, issue 8. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Blade doesn't have a hand. He doesn't need 2 hands. Issue 9 right there. See, really kind of interesting layouts here too. I'm kind of a hack, but Blade is cool, the cover art. And that is issue 12. Nobody loves me, don't they realize? I'll be back, baby. Goodbye, world. I mean, just really funny stuff there. Blade. Recent series, issue number 1. You may be asking, what about the Dark Night, Dark or Midnight Sun stuff? It's coming. That's Blade the Vampire Hunter. These are all just the series that are officially just named Blade. So that's issue 1. That goes through issue 5. Right there. We've got issue 6. Teaming up with Dracula, as you do when you got to. And that one ends in issue 10. Right there. And we get to this big boy book. It's shiny. It's awesome. It also has Dracula in it. Blade the Vampire Hunter. Number 1 right there. Part of the Midnight Suns. SONS. Are his pants, is his belt undone? What's going on with that? Anyway, that's issue 1 there. And that continues into issue 2. Dracula. Blah, blah. Blade the Vampire Hunter. Got issue 4. There. It's ancient, it's hungry, and it's just beyond this door. Got Blade the Night Vampire Hunter, issue number 5. Face to face with Night Terror. Okay. Here. And issue 7. Facing Deacon Frost. For those of you who only saw the movie, Deacon Frost in the comics is not a cool looking hot dude. He was an old, scrungy looking dude. There. Issue 7. Issue 8, we've got a team up of It's Morbin Time, Morbius and Blade together. Gotta get that in focus. Can't miss that. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's actually pretty tough. Got issue 9, which is apparently a big boy book. I don't remember why. Maybe it's the last issue. Of Blade the Vampire Hunter. Right there. Then we get into the one-shot Blasters special. So coming out of the invasion, the idea is in the DC universe, people have a metagene, and the metagene is what enables you to get powers if something crazy happens to you, like getting struck by lightning. And so these aliens round up a bunch of humans, and they just kind of subjected them all to all kinds of terrible things and see which ones will actually develop powers, which is kind of dark, really, but some of them do. And then one of them includes Snapper Carr, Justice League of America former mascot, gains teleportation powers. So that's this team doesn't have a lot of appearances, kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing, but they are in the Blaster special, number 1. Staying with that Midnight Suns kind of thing, we've got Blaze, featuring the former Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze. He's Johnny Blaze, man. He's got his Hellfire shotgun. This is issue number 1. And he goes up against Arcade and Murder World in issue number 8. Fighting somebody whose eyes are disgusting in issue 9. That's gross. And he ends it all with, I can't even tell what's happening right here. Where are those chains coming from? I don't know. In issue 12. If you want more Blaze, here you go. Blaze, Legacy of Blood. More Blaze for your money. Right there, issue 1. And that one went through issue 4. Poor Johnny. Poor, missing his family. Then we go to Blaze of Glory. This is the last ride. This was kind of a semi, modern take on the Old West heroes of Marvel. Think Young Guns movies. So they all got cool sunglasses and things. So John Ostrander of Suicide Squad and Spectre doing the writing on that. And that one goes through issue 4. And we go to alright, so technically this is just titled Blood and Glory, which is why it's sitting here, even though these two names are prominently displayed. It's Punisher and Captain America getting together, not getting along, but getting the job done. Issue 1 through issue 3. of Blood and Glory. There. We have so all of the DC annuals that year had their Bloodlines storyline where aliens were giving people powers, and this two-part series was the culmination of that. The big war fight at the end. Got Superman and Asbats, and that fight continues. All of those new heroes teaming up with the old heroes to fight off the evil aliens. We got Bloodhound. This was a series about a guy who I think he could sense people with superpowers, and so he would work for the FBI tracking down superpowered bad guys, something like that. And this was actually a creator-owned series, so there's another company published this, reprinted this, but there's a team up with like Firestorm, I think, in the series, and they couldn't reprint those issues because, of course, DC owned the rights to those issues. But we got Bloodhound 1. Yeah, well, here you go. So through issue 5, right there. This was, of course, the Jason Roche Firestorm. Got issue 6. Or, whoops. 9, 10. Okay, this one's all screwed up. So anyway, 9, 10, right there. Pause. And resuming. I still have it wrong. I keep doing that. Issue 6, right there, through issue 10. Anywho, so then we have Blood Hunt, the recent crossover series, issue number 1. That goes through issue number 5. Everybody versus Varney, the first vampire. He's the first vampire who turned him into a vampire. Inquiring minds want to know. We've got some Greg Land cover on Blood Hunters number 1. Just got this particular team of vampire killers when the whole world is overrun with vampires. We got Cloak, we got Man-Wolf, we got Hawkeye. Good stuff. Issue 4, we got Satana, we got Silver Surfer, we got Hallows Eve, kicking booty, vampire booty. That was the mini-series, and then the first mini-series, that one was tied into the crossover more explicitly, and then that was followed up with another mini-series, or maybe this was supposed to be an ongoing, and it only ended up being a mini-series. But more Blood Hunters with more Dagger, Yelena, Miles Morales having been turned into a good vampire, Bloodstone, and oh no, Dagger, she was pushed too far. Will she die? No, she won't die. Issue 5 of that. And then we've got Bloodline, the daughter of Blade. It's funny how these things kind of work out alphabetically, though, being close behind each other. So we have issue 1 of that. And Bloodline, daughter of Blade, number 5. Right there. Remember that Bloodlines crossover we mentioned earlier? Well, they sort of brought that group, some of those characters back, just completely rebooted them. Nothing that had, happened in the earlier series, took place here. This was a new set of characters. It looked like some of those characters that had been created back then. This was called Bloodlines, issue 1. And that went through issue 6. And we've never seen them again. Right there. And we've never seen them again. That's the overriding thing here. But somebody we have seen again is Etrigan the Demon, who starred in Blood of the Demon, which was written by John Byrne, covers by John Byrne, artwork by John Byrne. I think Will Pfeiffer was just kind of helping out, and had a lot of DC Universe activities of Etrigan the Demon. Issue 1, going through issue 4, going Enslaved by Morgane Le Fay. Right there. Got issue 5, early Byrne. This is late Byrne Superman, early Byrne Wonder Woman, if I remember correctly. And actually Etrigan had shows up in Wonder Woman and Byrne's Wonder Woman run. So he's kind of got all these characters that he's having interact with. Oh, and there's Batman. Gosh, I wish I could get up there and join the fight. We've got issue 10. Telling a story of Jason Blood, Etrigan's human form, then and now, kind of thing. Right there. Got issue 11. Gotham is burning. Where's Batman? Sorry, focus. Now you can see Gotham burning. There. Issue 14, part of the 1 year later, so all the books jumped forward a year and just kind of changed their status quo, and then retroactively later explained how things got to be that way. So got Etrigan going up against Merlin's ghost. Merlin is kind of a not good guy in this series. Don't trust Merlin. And issue 15 of that. I think this is like Etrigan's dad. They're going up against each other. And final issue, Blood of the Demon, number 17. There. And remember that Bloodlines storyline? From all the annuals, blah, blah, blah. So they also showed up, some of them showed up here in Bloodpack. And this was an early version of the whole idea of superheroes as media reality stars kind of thing. This is before they did it with like the thing that X-Force became. They were TV media stars, and they were all mostly characters that had been created in that series of annuals. It's issue 1, and that goes through issue 4, and we never saw it again. Then we have so issue 2, because issue 1 is gratuitously expensive, which is really irritating. It's never been, well, it has been reprinted, and I do have the reprint, but it's like filed in another spot. So I do have this, and story-wise, I do have all 4 issues of this. I'm always on the lookout of a suitably crappy copy of issue 1 that I could afford. But anyway, Bloodstone number 2, second appearance of Elsa Bloodstone, looking very different than she kind of ends up looking in a lot of other places. Right there. Issue 3 of Bloodstone. There. And issue 4 with what we would have called back in the day a headlight cover. Yahooga. There. And go to the Milestone universe for Blood Syndicate. So part of the Milestone line of books. I'm just kind of getting some kind of a gang that gains superpowers. I think I'm saying that generally right, in a fair way. Got the note. This is issue number 1, and I don't have all of these, but and then I've got that through issue 4. This is another series that gets really pricey when you get towards the end because they were not as many printed, but that's issue 4. We got issue 5. Somebody died. Tech 9. Poor Tech 9. But replaced by Kwai here in issue 8. Right there. We got issue 9. Fade out, having a fade out. Right there. Issue 12. He doesn't really love you. He doesn't. There, issue 12. Issue 13, Infestation. They're all dressed up. Nowhere to go. Issue 16. So they do have a big Milestone crossover with the main DC universe, particularly the Superman books, which was kind of a lot of people's first experience with the Milestone characters. So got that. Worlds Collide was the name of that crossover. That Worlds Collide continues into issue 17. There. And then issue 21. Spoiler, they're betrayed by Masquerade. Right there in issue 21. Then I've got to jump. They're on my list. Issue 28 of Blood Syndicate. Right there. They're down to fighting tractors. Through 33. Right there. Kwai returns to the mystic land of her birth. Right there. That's issue 3. Then I have issue that's 35. So I need to get 34. Oh, and this is the final issue of this one. So I need to get 34. So right there, final issue of that. So not too far off. We've got part of the revitalized recent Milestone stuff, the Blood Syndicate Season 1 here through issue 6, bringing back the Milestone characters in a new kind of world. So we've done black, we've done blood. Now we got to do some blue. We got blue and gold. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold together again. Getting the job done here in issue number 1. And that continues through issue number 8. I remember they also had their own sort of live streaming social media presence as part of this storyline. You could tell what people were saying about them online, what the comments were made about them as they go. Issue 8. Now we jump back to the first DC Blue Beetle series after they had purchased the characters. And we've got issue 1, Paris Cullens doing that art. Always love Paris Cullens, which is weird because he is very sort of stylized, and I don't normally like that, but I really dig some Paris Cullens. issue 1. This would be one of a few series he would start off and then leave, much to my disappointment. Issue 1. And continuing into issue 4, fighting the Flash villain, Dr. Alchemy, aka Mr. Element. There. And it wouldn't be the Blue Beetle if he wasn't running into the question. And this is actually before the question series had started, so he's being depicted here very much like he was in the pre-DC stuff, which the first issue of the DC question kind of addresses that, and he has a reason for a vast personality change. That's issue 5, and it goes through issue 8. I think this is one of those, following the henchman and learning about the private life of a supervillain's henchman kind of thing. And here in Blue Beetle number 8, got issue number 9, crossing over with the Legends, the first post-crisis crossover. President outlaws superheroes. That pretty much says it all about what the Legends series is about. We got issue 12, crossover with the new Teen Titans, which was kind of groovy because this was like you didn't often see the new Teen Titans drawn by anybody other than like George Perez, and certainly not in the Perez Cullen style. So that was a really interesting thing to see at the time. There. Got Blue Beetle number 13. This guy was a supporting character in Blue Beetle who ends up joining the Hybrid, who had been introduced as new Teen Titans villains. So tying it all together like that here. So that's Blue Beetle 13. We go to issue 16. Ross Andrew on the art. Not quite as dynamic as Paris Cullen's, but he's classic Spider-Man artist, so kind of fun putting him on Blue Beetle after he followed Steve Ditko on Spider-Man at some point. Not immediately following, but he did draw him later after Ditko. So doing the same with another Ditko character. Got Cullen's back. Hey, on issue 17 with Blue Beetle fighting how do you say it? Hyalai supervillain. They can't all be winners, folks. Issue 17. Got through issue 20 versus Catalyst, who's doing chemical stuff, taking part of the Millennium, which is the second big crossover in the post-crisis universe. The Guardians of the Galaxy come to Earth to find who the next Guardians will be, because they're going away. That's a very short version of the plot of that. Millennium continues here into Blue Beetle 21. Blue Beetle and his Justice League cohort, Mr. Miracle, teaming up there. Got Chris Wozniak, another sort of stylized artist, doing the art on this one. And that series ends right here with Ween, bless your heart, Don Heck, on interior art. Right there, Chris Wozniak doing the full cover. Just kind of, let's get it up. Let's stumble along to issue 24, folks. So, then we jump forward several years to the Infinite Crisis, or immediately there following, and Jaime Reyes gets the Beetle, and it actually forms an armor around him, and he becomes the new Blue Beetle. And this is his first solo appearance in Blue Beetle #1. And that continues into issue #6. Right there, Duncan Rouleau doing artwork. Duncan Rouleau was he was kind of an earlier version of, oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank now. I shouldn't have started saying that. But anyway, very stylized art. Right there. And then issue 7 there. A good giant part of the with the Justice League looking on. Issue 12, introducing somewhere in here the Reach, the aliens that created the Beetles. Right there, not the Beetles, the band, but the Beetle that he wears. Issue 13, Bug on the Run, Raphael Albuquerque doing art. Issue 20, a little spin-off from the Sinestro Corps War. Sinestro going up against Blue Beetle, so I guess if you're a big Jeff Johns Green Lantern fan, you might want to check this out. A little tie-in to that event. Got issue 21 of Blue Beetle, this series, second DC series. Right there with the Spectre. Issue 28, going up against a beast in El Paso, called the Beast of El Paso. Issue 29, right there. And I don't remember what's going on there. And the final issue of this series in issue 36, right there. But don't fret. Jaime Reyes will be back in the new 52. Here's his 0 issue. More Keith Giffen writing, rest in peace. Tony Bedard also writing. Iguera doing artwork. So this is, of course, the 0 issue that came out about a year into the series. So that's not really the first issue. Just numerically the first issue. There's the first issue of the new 52 Blue Beetle series. Blue Beetle doing it right. And that pack has 1 through 8. Placing stopwatch because the Clock King was busy somewhere else. There. And we got issue 9 dealing with Kyle Rayner and his his little band of new Guardians, which in this case referred to individual members of each of the colored Ring Corps. So we got, for example, they're from the Red Lanterns. We got Bleeze there. 16. Going into the Threshold. So Threshold was a kind of a sort of an anthology book, outer space book that they did right about this time. And when this series ended, which this is the last series, Blue Beetle would show up there next. There. But then, that series didn't last very long, but then they did Rebirth. And Rebirth, he got another new issue #1. And he's hanging out with Ted Kord, who's not dead anymore, because it's Rebirth. And he's hanging out with the new Dr. Fate. and you know, doing Blue Beetle stuff. And that's issue 1. And that goes through issue 9 right there. The beauty shot, that hair. Got issue 10. The storyline is tying. Even though the Beetle is supposed to be kind of scientific, it's also kind of magic, and so we've got some Orion, who is sort of a bad guy here. So too bad for all you Orion fans from the past, but he's not a good guy here. But you got the No Omac, got Dr. Fate. Can't remember who that is. That, I think that's the new Kid Flash, maybe. No, well, no, that would just have to be Kid Flash, right? Because it's Rebirth. Anyway, got a big fight going on there. And then that series ends with issue 18. Right there. But don't you worry. Reyes will be back in the Dawn of DC. And he will be hanging out with Starfire. And Ted Kord is back. He's back in costume as needed. We've got some different colored beetles. A gold beetle and a red beetle and a scarlet beetle or something like that. Got the sister of Ted Kord being introduced here, which this is sort of all what would play into the Blue Beetle movie. And that's issue 1 through issue 4. Ooh, Jaime's got a girlfriend. She's an alien. Right there. Love blooms as doom looms. Right there, issue 4. Issue 5. Battle for Palmyra City. Green Beetle. Got some Peacemaker back there. One of these series had a version of Peacemaker that was totally new and different, and then they just wasn't a doofus like most Peacemakers, and they went back to doofus after that. So people don't know what happened to non-doofus Peacemaker. That's issue 5, and that series ended with issue 11 right there. Now chronologically, order. It's alphabetical, not chronological, because I know there's this Blue Beetle graduation day might have been before the previous series, but it's getting filed here. So that's issue 1 right there, and that goes through issue 6 right there. For this box, we've got, right before the Rebirth series started, as with many series during that time, it had a Rebirth special. So there you go. That's all this box. All right, that was box number 32. Next time we'll do box number 33. We will finish up Blue, and we will get into some Booster, and we will get into the Brave and the Bold. So I hope you'll be here, and thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day.